Hey guys, welcome to photopea. I'm going to be doing your 3D cities project demonstration in here. So to get started, you make sure you go to the photo website. It's, as you can spell, the word P is with an A at the end, so please make sure you are checking your spelling on that to get into the correct website. As you can see down here, there are different files that actually can be utilized. So if you're doing photography, you could use raw files, any files, JPEGs, GIFs, PNGs, things like that. PSD files, if you had PSD files on your drive, you can actually utilize them. You're going to come into File New. Okay. You're going to start with a new project, name it. I'm doing 3D cities. I'm going to change my pixels to inches. I'm going to change the size for the width to be 7 and the height to be 5. I'm going to leave the pixel image at 72. I'm going to change the background to transparent and hit create. Once I have that, you can either hit Control 0 or Command 0 to make your screen the actual size of your desktop. Once you have that as well, I always go in, put a second layer, come back to my background, and then I can hit this gradient to change it to a paint bucket. Once I've changed it to the paint bucket, I'm going to pick my background. So maybe I like a light green, depending on what you're at. Hit my background. Okay, get the paint bucket tool, and then fill my shape in. Now to start making the city and to make your buildings, remember they need to be 3-dimensional and you need to have 5 buildings. Okay, so I'm only going to do one building just to go over the basic steps because it'll be the same for the rest of them. Now I'm on a new layer completely. The one thing I'm going to start with is my shape tool. Okay, to make the shapes. Before I do that though, you can check your rulers. I don't know if you guys see, but my rulers are already up here. If you go to view, you can click on them. Okay, they disappear. If I click on them again, they appear again. So you can use them if you need to. Now I'm just going to make my first shape and I'm going to change my color. Let's see. Let's do some shade of blue. Make my first building and there it is. Okay, so I have my first building to go. Now before I do anything else, I'm going to come back to the arrow tool in case I need to move this. Then I'm going to utilize the rulers by dragging and dropping. Okay, I'm going to essentially frame my building. After I frame it, I'm going to bring one that's a little bit longer so that I know like how far I want to come out. And same thing with the top. Okay, I'm going to look and see how far I went between the two. So that way these two breaks are similar. And this needs to be just adjusted a bit. There. Okay. Then I'm going to use the top one as well. I'm going to map out the top. Okay, using my lines, and you can pay attention to the numbers to make sure things are even, but to get things in perspective, this is why I'm looking at that. And I have about 20 there, so I'm gonna come right there. All right, perfect. Once I have that, then the pen tool is in the same spot like you did to do your 3D shapes. Okay, so I'm going to start with the pen tool. I'm going to pick different shade just like I did before because then it'll help figure out what your shape actually looks like and it won't be blending in. Okay, so then I'm going to just start by clicking a dot. Oh, let me make sure I'm on a new layer. Don't forget to do new layers. Don't be like me. All right, so I'm going to click on my dot first, then I'm going to come across diagonally, come all the way to the outside line, come here. Then I'm going to close it. It's so important that you close the shape so that it ends. And my color went back, so I have to check that to make sure. You can check that while your pen is still activated. Once I have that, click my arrow to come away. And as you can see, I have layer 1 and layer 2 separate. I'm going to make a third layer. And with the pen tool, going to do the same thing. Now I can change the color just a little bit again if I want to, so I can see some difference. Clicking on the bottom, clicking on the diagonal angle, coming up to meet at that corner, coming to meet in this corner, and then I need to close it again at the bottom. So now my shape once again is closed over here. Coming to the arrow, and voila. Now, if I want to combine these, I can hit Shift and click on the layers all together. If you come to layer, you should be able to merge the layers together right here. Okay, it will make it one shape, so you don't necessarily have to do that. And if you make a mistake, it's the same as on Photoshop, just step backwards. Okay, if you want to put them in a group like in Photoshop, so say I want to put them in a folder, can put my folder right here, double click on the name, could put box 1, and then what you can do is you can highlight all of them. I'm holding my control key, okay, and then drag them into my box. All right, that way, once you have it, I don't know if it'll let me drag it into the box. There we go. They'll all be in one file and it's less messy on your background, trust me. All right, once I have that, I can make a new layer again, come back to my shape tool, and then I'm gonna pick a different window color. So I think I'm gonna do gray. Let's see. Once I have gray, then I can do my windows. Okay, so I have some windows here. I'm going to do a couple. Right now, they're not going to be even. I'm just doing them in general so you can see them. Okay, and filling in my windows this way. As you can see, the shapes all come on their own, so you could do the same thing you did with box 1. You could realistically come in, make a group folder, come in, say, double click, windows, okay, and then drag these into your window folder. I'm hitting my shift key to get those all 3 highlighted into my windows, okay, and then minimizing it. If I want to do doors, it's the same thing, but maybe I'm going to change the color of my door. So maybe I'm going to make it like a dark gray, or maybe I'll make it a navy blue. Let's see. Once I have that, I can come in, I can make my door on my new layer. If you want to also come in on that, and then you can, actually make different things with it, you can use the brush tool. Like say I want to make a door handle or a doorknob, I could do it this way, but I just have to make sure I check my color down here. So maybe my door handle's green, or let's actually try and make it like a gold. Okay. Once I have that, I'm going to use my brackets. You're on your keyboard using your brackets. You can still use them to make things bigger or smaller. I use the left bracket to make it smaller. Then I'm going to click with my dot, and see it says layers not editable. So before you do anything else, you want to come up to layer and rasterize like you can do in Photoshop, and then you can click on it and it'll give you the access to make the door. You can play around with the brush tool. As you can see, the size and the hardness are here, and there are various brushes that you can use if you need to draw things. Like say you want to put something in your sky, maybe playing around with this one. So then I can come make a new layer, pick whatever color I want to play around with my sky. Okay, use the brackets to make my brush a little bigger. As you can see, it comes up here, and then it kind of comes out. I don't know if you guys can see how light that is, but it's almost like got like a sunset fading on there. Okay, once you're done, and once you have all your cities and you have your layers around and whatnot, because we're only using the most basic of things right now, just the pen tool, the paint bucket, the erasers here if you need it, the paintbrush, your arrow, okay, your shape tool, your layers, anything like it's more simple. Once you're all done, you're going to hit File, Save as a PSD. Okay, and then it'll save it. I don't know if you guys can see it on my screen, but it saved it down to my bottom of my desktop as a PSD. I'm going to be okay right now with you guys uploading them like that. If you want to save it as something else, you can export it as a JPEG. And once you have that, it'll say save for web. You can leave everything the same on here, perfectly fine. Hit save, and it'll be saved to your Google Drive probably. Mine saves to my hard drive on my Mac, so that's the only difference basically. All right, that is your first demo on Screencastify. So hopefully you guys will follow this okay. You can always put it up parallel to your screen if you need to while you're working. And good luck on your first assignment. If you have questions, don't forget Google Classroom, Google Hangout. Through the Remind app, you can send me a message. Just remember the hours are 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. All right, good luck on your cities, guys. Thanks.